Well, a plane with engine trouble heading towards New York is the stuff of a Hollywood blockbuster or your worst nightmare. But in January this year, 155 passengers and crew on board Flight 1549 experienced the drama firsthand.
Well, somehow everyone survived, and tonight we'll get a glimpse into that phenomenal flight with a documentary called Miracle of the Hudson Plane Crash.
I knew immediately that the engine had been impacted because it sounded like a colossal bam.
It startled everyone. What was that? What's going on?
Cactus 1529, turn right 280, you can land runway 1 at Teterboro.
We can't do it.
Okay, which runway would you like at Teterboro?
We're going to be in the Hudson.
I'm sorry, say again, Cactus?
I think he said he was going to the Hudson.
It was eerie that the flight attendants in unison kept saying, brace, brace, brace.
You know, we're crashing. What are you going to do? I kept thinking, okay, do I pray or do I send my wife a message? Do I call her? What do I do?
It's an amazing story, isn't it? And just chilling just at how calm that pilot was in that incident there. Well, Aussie Emma Sophina was also on that flight. She joins us now, along with Sunrise aviation expert Jeffrey Thomas. Welcome to you both. Now, Emma, we've just heard amazing stories from those on board. Take us through your personal experience.
Good morning, guys. Well, it was an ordinary flight, or at least I thought it was going to be, and within about 90 seconds of takeoff we hit birds. It's almost like someone popped a balloon right next to your ear, but it was amplified even more. And you were jolted in your seat straight away, and in that moment I thought, this is it. I'm gone, and it's my time to go.
Wow. I don't know how to ask this, Emma, but I mean, how do you feel at that point? Were you calm? Were you hysterical?
I think, it's a tribute to the way that Sully actually glided the plane down, that everybody on the plane was very calm. Everybody was praying. I actually had a peace that I've never had before and I've never had since, and I honestly did not think that I would ever react like that in that type of situation. But I amazed myself, and as I said, I think it was a tribute to the fact that we weren't plummeting, we were gliding down.
When you go through something so traumatic, it tends to change your outlook on life. Have you found that for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I've found I'm far more rested in my life and in what I'm now doing, which is working on my music here in New York, and my EP is about to be released in Australia, Wake Up, in the next couple of weeks, which is so exciting, and I just feel a lot more calm about things, and kind of just walking through life kind of going, you know what, seize the day, because it might be your last.
Wow, Jeffrey, what have we learnt from investigations into this crash? I mean, I know that it was a tragic accident, but have we taken anything away from it?
Well, look, yes, it really has focused the industry on the bird strike problem. And one of the issues that we've sort of discovered, although of course environmentalists knew this anyway, because of the fact that we banned things like DDTs in the 1960s and 70s, bird populations have, well, the insecticides, and all the insecticides we used through the 60s and 70s have been banned, and therefore the bird populations have recovered, and the Canadian geese population, which is the bird that hit Emma's aircraft, the population has grown fourfold since 1990. Now, to put this in perspective, the Canadian geese are about a 9-kilo bird. The industry tests aircraft engines for a single strike by a 4-kilo bird, or a multiple strike, 16 small birds, at about 0.85 of a kilo. Now, this aeroplane was hit about 12 times by Canadian geese weighing 9 kilos, so it was a massive hit to this aeroplane. And now the industry is now looking and saying, well, now, do we need to review the testing criteria for engines so they can withstand larger birds and multiple hits?
We might not have that exact bird here in Australia, but potentially we might have something of the equivalent. What are Aussie Airlines doing to prevent this kind of thing happening here?
Well, look, we do have some big birds, and a Qantas colleague of mine reminded me of a hit that he had on a crane out of Sydney Airport that shook the plane so violently that he couldn't read his instruments. So we do have large birds, but not in that flocking number. But what Qantas has also done, and they're leading the world in this area, is they're introducing a thing called pulse light, which is where the landing lights, which go on at about 3,000 metres for coming into land or take off, they stay on till about 10,000 feet, 3,000 metres. They pulse the landing lights, and this actually frightens the birds quite considerably so, and so much so that they've had a 66% reduction in bird strikes. So they are working on that sort of technology, and also the industry is looking at perfecting bird radars that would detect big flocks of birds as well. So the industry is really focused on it. It is a major problem. We had 1,500 bird strikes in Australia last year on aircraft, so it's not going away anytime soon.
Wow, well, sounds like good technology both from the traveller's point of view and for the birds. Hey, Emma, before I let you go, have you been on a plane since?
Yes, I have. I decided to just get back on the horse, and I've actually been home to Australia and come back, and I kind of figure that it's not going to happen again, so I'm pretty safe to fly.
Good attitude.
Well done.
Yeah,
well done.
All the best to you, and particularly with the single being released. Yeah, all the very best. Lovely to talk to you, Emma. And Jeffrey, good as always. Lovely
Thanks,
to talk
Mel.
to you.
Thanks, Grant.
Thanks, guys.
Pleasure, thank you.
You know what I love about that story is that you can actually survive a plane crash, because for so long I thought, with so big, so many people on board, when they come down, you kind of think it's the end of it. I must admit that I've grabbed the safety card at the front and had a look and seen the water landing demonstration and thinking 500 kilometres an hour into the water doesn't add up in my book. So to see that it actually you can walk away is very, very comforting.
There you go. Read those cards and listen to the safety
instructions. Absolutely, it works. And you can watch the special 1-hour documentary Miracle on the Hudson Plane Crash. It's on Channel 7 tonight at 7:30.
Now, very shortly on the morning.